pickup game of shinny, yes, well, consider it cancelled in a small town just outside of Calgary where bureaucratic busybodies and the nanny staters ruin a very big, great Canadian tradition, yes. Jesse Richards, who lives in Chestermere, which is just outside of Calgary, joins us from our Calgary studios. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We can call you kind of the league creator of this. I mean, you created a league that's now been canceled.
Yeah, I'm one of a few organizers for what we're calling the CPHL, or the Chestermere Pond Hockey League, that aim to create a few rinks around the various bodies of water in Chestermere that would be accessible to all ages and all groups of people. And yeah, it's sort of been canceled at this point.
Why did it get canceled? So you wanted to create a league for shinny. It would just have fun, get kids outdoors playing the great Canadian sport. You went to the city or municipal bylaw enforcers and you tried to get permission and they said no?
Yeah, so we actually spend most of the summers playing street hockey league along the same lines. Again, everybody's welcome, so we have families out. Trying to extend that tradition through the winter season. So we created a league, invited people, got a lot of support from the community. Raise some money, raise some money to buy materials for the rinks, and eventually we did go to the city to go through proper channels. And as of this week, we are not permitted to use any of the materials or kind of put together this league. Why?
What was the reasoning?
Safety, of course, is their primary concern at this point.
Okay, so you had everything from sponsorship. The whole community really was getting involved because this was a great way, to get kids outdoors, away from their TVs. They could do skating lessons, they could do tobogganing, all sorts of great activities for kids. And they're so worried about safety. Did they ever think that maybe that they could just put signs up saying you do these activities at your own risk? Was there no way that you could negotiate with them on this?
Well, I'll say this, yeah, there was an incredible outpouring of support, not only from the residents, my immediate neighbors, the community as a whole, but also the small businesses in Chestermere really got behind this project. It was a great way for, their kids to get out, their families to get out together. First-time skaters were out playing with us, as well as guys who went pretty far. So, I think that safety was their primary concern, and what we really looked to do with the city was work with them hand in hand to address those concerns. We gave them options as far as us monitoring, outsourcing monitoring, or of course ideally them monitoring the ice with us to make sure that those bodies of water are safe.
Yeah, leave it to a bureaucrat to ruin all the fun. But really, I mean, we can laugh at this to a point, but I would think that other jurisdictions who are watching this may be concerned that this would become a trend across this country. I mean, kids have been playing hockey. Where there's a will, there's a way in this country when it comes to winter hockey. If you don't go to the ice, you'll take it to the streets. I mean, are we going to start getting sweeping changes by small government to stop this kind of thing?
Well, I know that this sort of is a trend across the country, and it seems to go one way or the other, depending on what the municipalities' viewpoint on things are. For us, or for Lacombe, for instance, they have an active program that allows people to skate on the bodies of water, whereas our municipality hasn't actually backed us up on this. So it is a bit concerning. What is the precedent that it sets?
Right, and so has there been any kind of backlash? Because as you said, a lot of members of the community, whether it be businesses, families, have been involved in this and want this program to start. Have you seen any kind of backlash?
I think the backlash has been immense, and I don't think the city, or the town rather, was really expecting it. Within our very tight-knit group in Chestermere, very, very supportive, just a very tight community. I think a lot of people were very, very disappointed that they weren't going to get to do this with their families over the winter.
So what's next?
And they're voicing their concerns.
Can you push back? I mean, is there any kind of appeal process?
Well, I can say this: we're probably not in the best terms with town right now. Where lines of communication have kind of gone quiet. But I think what I do have faith in town council, and I do believe that they're going to look at this and try and figure out how maybe they can make this work, because the community is very vocal about trying to make it work.
Yeah, I think it would be, or could be, as simple as putting the liability on the organization and just saying, hey, you play at your own risk. We're not going to stop you. But it's one of those things where you almost regret that you went through the proper channels. It would have been easier for you, I think, in hindsight, just to ask for forgiveness afterwards.
I've heard that a dozen times in the last 12 hours, and it is unfortunate. And we're one of 6 rinks on the pond system, our rink, which we call Sea Green Rink, that have been there for upwards of a decade. So, you know, the real problem here is that what does that precedent set for the rest of the community, the other rinks that are out there? It is a real shame.
Not just communities. I think it's one of those things that if one community can do it in Canada, then bigger communities can start following suit. And then all of a sudden, across Canada, you'll get all these busy bureaucrats, you know, ruining winter fun for a lot of kids. And, you know, you wonder why kids are so fat today and lazy. It's because we make it almost impossible for them to go out and have fun by silly things like this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is our national pastime. We, you know, Canadians have been doing this since day one in this country, keeping themselves busy throughout the winter, and that's really the goal in winter. That's how you fall in love with it, is keep yourself busy. So I think there's a way to make this happen, and I don't want towns throughout Canada to take the easy way. We should be trying to figure out how we can do this, and we should be figuring it out as a community. Absolutely,
Jesse. I'm going to keep you here because we're going to bring in our Gina Phillips, who looks at all things social media. And in this kind of case, Gina, I think social media is this community's best friend, because people start hearing about this, and that's the groundswell of support that might get this City Council to change its mind.
People across Canada are talking about this now, and I know Chestermere. I grew up there. I would go there every single summer from Calgary. I water skied on that lake.
Oh,
I know it's such a tight-knit town.
Yeah.
Now, I'll read some of the reaction coming out of this, though. Russell says, where's the line between living and being safe all the time? I have to say I'm tired of governments restricting what people can do, all in the name of safety. And John agrees, says, can you think of something that is more essentially Canadian than shinny? These people have to be reminded that life is full of small risks, and legislating them away only takes away from life, and it doesn't improve it.
Right. So, Jesse, I'll bring you back into the conversation. Are they going after kids for things like street hockey? Because I think if you get rid of the shinny, kids will simply go back to the street, which is a lot more dangerous because there are cars.
Well, I can't speak to that. There haven't been any discussions on the street hockey, but you know, we run the same program throughout the summer. All are welcome. All are encouraged to join. Bring out the families. You know, and let's get out there and have a little bit of fun together.
Yeah, well, we certainly will continue following this story. Please keep us up to date on how this goes. We'll get this thing out on social media and see if the voices across Canada can also help in your effort of trying to keep this program going, because it'd be a real shame if small-mindedness gets in the way of winter fun. Thanks a lot, Jesse, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Gina, do you think the swing will catch on?
I think it definitely will. By the way, I think this is Jesse in the picture that we used on our Facebook page.
It probably is, yeah. No question.
I was like, I recognize him. Oh, right, there he is. Anyway, yeah, this kind of story always does well. People can really sympathize with the people that just want to play some hockey and have some good old Canadian fun.
I guess what we should do is find the email address for this town council and
yeah, we should.
Direct mail that way.
Yeah.
I hate hearing stories like this, because if it can happen there, it'll start happening in bigger cities. I know that there's been debates about street hockey in places like, you know, Toronto and that, but I already know that our city council is full of a bunch of dolts, so I expect it from them. But small town Canada shouldn't be arguing about stuff like this.
You know what bugs me when what I see on lakes is people driving and speeding on lakes and doing donuts.
Hey, look,
that to me is way more dangerous.
The municipalities across this country give licenses to go ice fishing.
Yeah,
which is
true.
Way more. I've done several stories on people getting, you know, sinking into the hole of water. Not to mention on their skidoo, et cetera, et cetera. If we start doing this, then we may as well ban all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll keep our eye on this one. Thanks, Gina.
All right, thanks.